Hello, everybody. Welcome to Talk About Houses. I'm Todd.
I'm Juana.
Okay, we're going to talk about this article that came out. I'll just read the headline and then we'll go from there. The housing market is starting to crack. Oh my God. Sellers are cutting prices at record levels. Not true. As you can no longer price based off where sales were. Also not true. That's literally how prices are determined. It's called comparable sales, right? People just don't make up numbers.
Well, some people make up numbers.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through the article. There's actually a ton of slides. What's really funny about this is they harp on this one slide from Redfin. Just so you know, Redfin's actually one of the most negative people about housing. Their predictions are always pretty dire. But what's funny is there's like 15 slides in the article that they reference, but they only talk about the one slide that's the worst of all of them. They completely ignore all the other slides. So I went and looked at the whole other Redfin article. We're going to show some of those slides.
Okay.
Juana, what does that even mean? Is starting to crack? It's November. They're pointing at the seasonality of real estate, how listings tend to increase and prices drop every single year. Prices drop in the fall, a couple percent. They're making like, oh my God, this is it. It's happening again for the 47th year in a row. And now this is the time. The market's cracking.
Okay, so I'm going to answer that this way.
Okay.
A year ago in the spring and in the summer, you made this amazing prediction that the best time to buy a house was October, November, December, January.
Yeah.
But that was to 2022 to 2023.
Yep.
So, lo and behold, here we are over the same time span, 2023 to 2024, and guess what? The best time to buy a house is October, November, December, January. It's the same thing as the seasonality of it. The whole thing is just preying on a negative headline and just beating the same drum that gets beaten every year at this time.
Okay, here's the first quote from the article. The challenges of soaring mortgage rates and home prices aren't just, this is what's funny, soaring home prices. The real estate market is so bad, home prices are soaring. They literally contradict themselves. It's starting to crack. Home prices are going up, okay? They're not just impacting buyers, they're plaguing sellers too, even with limited existing home inventory. A record number of them dropped their prices on their listings in October. According to a new Redfin report, we're going to go over that statistic. A record of them dropped prices on their listings in October. I want you to guess how many people, what percentage of all listings dropped their price in October. So you got a whole month to drop so you come on the market, maybe you didn't get an offer, 2 weeks later, drop your price, right?
So first
or maybe
of all,
you listed a little high, you drop your price. I want you to guess what percentage of all listings dropped their price, okay?
Okay, so one of the first things that I want you to think about is that sellers all of a sudden think that if they don't get multiple offers in the first 5 days that they're on the market, the sky is falling. Okay, people, that was an aberration. That's not a normal thing, okay? Having multiple offers in the first 5 days that you're on the market is not a normal thing. Having any offers, in the first 5 days that you're on the market is a great thing, but it seldom happens, especially once you get into a more normal market. And that's kind of what we're approaching is a more traditional market.
Okay, so what we're going to do is go through the Redfin slides, and I'm going to remember there were like 15 slides in this article, and they only talk about the one slide. They ignore all the other slides. I'm going to show that one last, and then I'm going to go to the quote, and then you're going to realize that the quote is extremely misleading. So a lot of this is just showing how, for some reason, people are being extremely negative and
Well, we know why they're being negative.
portraying data incorrectly. Okay,
Well, we know why.
We know. Here's the first slide, okay? Okay, this is right now, 38% of sales under contract went within 2 weeks. This is the 4-week average, okay? 38%. The real estate market is so bad that within 2 weeks, 38% of pending sale of listings went under contract.
So it kind of goes back to what I just said. People think that if they don't get an offer in 5 days, the sky is falling. This number shows that more than a third of listings get not only an offer, but an offer that is good enough for them to accept within 2 weeks.
What's interesting is that orange line is 2023, and we're right in line with the last 4 years. It's like normal. If I had shown you this and said, what's going on, you would have said, looks like a normal market, right? Okay, here's the next chart. This is homes sold in a median of 33 days. This is a 4-week rolling average. This is sold in a median of 33 days, not under contract, but sold, okay? That's fast to sell, right? Also, right in line. Look at that. It's literally in line with the last 4 years. Within days of just even a hot year or slow year, it's pretty normal, right? This is the median, okay? Here's another one. 29% of all homes sold above, that's how terrible the market is. 29% of homes sold above final list price.
Okay, so what you're saying is that nearly a third of homes sold above list price.
That's crazy.
So if nearly a third of homes sold above list price, then whoever had to lower their price, they were clearly way out of line, because when homes are selling above list price and then you have to lower your price, then you were really out there.
Now remember, these lines are seasonality. So remember, it's if you go back to the spring, April, May, it's higher, and then it's less in the fall, right? So, but we're right in line with actually higher than last year, okay? Here's the next one. The average home sold for 99.1%. So remember, we had like almost a third sell for more, but 99.1% final list price. That was the average home. The average home, if you take all of them that sold above and below, they sold for 99.1%, in line with the last couple of years, like literally right in line.
Right.
Such a terrible market, okay? Here's the other one. This is new listings. Now remember, more listings come on in April, May, June, and they drop off in the end of the year, October, November, December. This drop off is what everyone's freaking out about. Oh my God, look at this. This is the crash. And every year it did this. Even in hot years, 2021, 2020, 2022, 2023, right in line. Exactly the same as last year. New listings, the exact same, right? Oh, ready for the, didn't talk about this chart. Median sale price is up 3.5%, 3.4% year over year. Now remember, that bottom line is 2020, and that blue line is 21, and the red line is 2022. This is the highest October ever in the history since the earth cooled, since the gas surrounding the earth cooled, when home prices were officially recorded 5 billion years ago. It's the highest ever. That's how terrible it's cracking. That's clearly cracking. Look how bad it is out there. You could see it getting ready. Like that up and down line is the housing crash. That little where it says November and it's a line going down, that's literally showing the cliff, that the home price. They didn't mention any of this, right? This is what they mentioned. This one crazy one. Okay, for all of you who guessed, do you want to guess? You don't remember the number.
I forgot the question.
What percentage of listings in the entire month of November did they drop the price?
I don't know, but I'll take a swag at lucky number 7.
7?
I'll go with 7.
You're very close. It's 6.9%.
Oh, I was close.
6.9%. Right? And here's the funny thing. Look at this chart. Now remember, in the spring, you tend to not have price drops because stuff has been selling relatively faster. So you can see it's as low as 2%, okay, in like January, February, March, because those homes sit on the market and they sell, okay? It's about even with last year. It's about the same as last year, but 6.9% of listings, like literally that means 93.1% of all listings did not drop their list price. That's how horrible the housing market, okay?
And then we do remember that about a third of them actually sold for more than list price.
Yeah. So here's the funny thing. Here's the quote from the article. Now remember, this article's quoting the Redfin data, but they're ignoring all the data we just showed you. They're only looking at that one slide. Nearly 7% of for sale homes in the U.S. post a price drop during the 4 weeks ending October 29th. Which is the highest portion since Redfin started tracking this data in 2012, and far surpasses the 3.6% of homes that lower price in an average month. So they're comparing this to like January, February, March, saying, well, in an average month, they only drop 3.6% of homes drop their price. But in every year, there's more people dropping their prices in October. You could say that every single year, that, oh, the rest of the year it was only 3.6. This year it was some higher number.
Right.
So do you see what they did? I'll show you this. I'll put the slide up again so you can see that. They're comparing October to the earlier part of the year, where if you go back before July, it's basically everything was like below 5 or 4.5. Also, the other thing too is, remember, the last 4 years have been super hot. So they're also comparing this to the last 4 years. So it's extremely suspect.
Well, I think it's manipulative.
It's manipulative. They literally are manipulating data, comparing an October event for homes that tend to have price drops, even though it's only 6.9, but that's double the normal. But yeah, the normals, you can't compare the spring to the fall. Okay, here's another quote from the article. This is a funny one. Mortgage rates have also largely been on the rise this year, peaking at about 8% in October. And then they're like, rates did drop briefly to 7.4% on Friday. They dropped over half of a percent in like a week, in reaction to a disappointing jobs report that showed only 155,000 jobs were created last month, which was 20,000 fewer than forecasted. Okay, Juana.
Yes.
Could you imagine how much interest rates would? We talked about this. The theory is there's that job losses, and then no one makes their payment anymore. We know that only 3% of all mortgages pay over 7%. They pay 7% or more. Everybody else pays under 7%, right? Even those people aren't just going to get foreclosed. But instead of having 170,000 new jobs, there was only 150,000, and that was enough to drop rates from 8 to 7.4%. So what happens if we, no kidding, get in, like the people were saying, we do have a recession, or we do have, we stop creating more jobs? What does the Fed do, and what happens to mortgage rates?
Well, if for 20,000 jobs the mortgage rates dropped 0.5%. So does that mean that if we have 40,000 less jobs than anticipated, they're going to drop? Rates will drop a full percent? Because remember, this is not the Fed, right? Because the Fed didn't do anything. The Fed did not actually lower rates. The Fed just said, we're not going to do anything right now. So these mortgage rates are forward-looking. So if we have even if we have another jobs report with 20,000 less jobs than anticipated, are we going to still have another 0.5% drop? Or are we going to have maybe 0.75% drop? Because now it's a snowball effect, right? So that's going to be interesting to watch.
I thought this was, I've said a lot of these are pretty hilarious. This is the funniest one. Okay, this is a quote. Sellers need to cut prices to counteract higher payments and keep buyers interested in their property in a market with fewer buyers, Matthew Walsh, Moody's Analytics housing economist, tells Fortune. So what they're saying is that sellers, forget what a cash buyer is willing to pay. You have to just go and assume that the buyer who has to get a loan can't, because he can't afford your house, you have to cut your price to make it affordable for him.
Actually, may I say something? Okay.
Right, say
so let's pretend you're a seller. So you have a choice. You can lower your price by maybe 25,000, or you can offer to buy down the buyer's rate. Maybe that only costs you 7,000. Either way, you're helping out the buyer, and maybe the difference in payment is the same. So if you buy it down for 7,000, it's the same thing as if you lowered your price by 25,000, because as far as the payment that buyer needs to make. So which are you going to do? Well, you're probably going to keep your price the same, right? Not lower it by 25,000, and offer to spend that 7,000 to buy down the rate, bringing the buyer's payment where it would be if you had lowered the price 25,000. So, this is math, guys. Sellers don't have to lower their prices. They have other tools in the toolbox to net more money if they're just willing to be a little thoughtful and creative.
Here's the ridiculous thing about this whole statement. We just saw the data. Sellers in October got 99.1% of their list price.
And a third of them got over list price.
A third of them got over list price. And, you ready for this? They're selling median within 33 days.
Right. So
Like, why do they have to drop their price? Because some buyer shows up and goes, I really want to buy your house in the country club, but I only make $40,000 a year, and I did the math, and I can only have a $2,200 a month payment, and I know your house is $1.7 million, but if I do the math, I can only borrow $310,000, so you have to drop your price $1.4 million, so I can live in the country club because I cannot afford your house at this price. You have to drop the price. It's the most ridiculous. We've got another video we're going to do because we have numbers. You will going to be blown away. Actually, the number of cash buyers in October is the highest since before the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
The highest since before the pandemic. It's a whole nother video. We just got the data. We're still kind of going through it because we want to do a good job with the video.
Right. So please make sure that you subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you get notified when that video gets posted. And if you want to put in the comments what you think that number is as far as the percentage of cash purchasers in October, put that in this video and then watch the next video to see if you were right.
Watch all the videos. Go back and watch all 1,200 videos that we've made starting in 2008. You will notice that Juana looks no different in the videos. I look substantially older in the videos. I don't know why, but yeah, like I said, it's been a rough 14 years, 15 years. A lot of hair for 15 years ago. Some of them pretty good. Mostly it's like market updates and stuff. But anyway, there's some doozies in there. We made like literally predictions we made in 2009, 2010, 100% came true.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, just in case this whole video blog doesn't work out for real estate, we've got a future in fortune telling.
Fortune telling.
Do you have anything else?
No, that was it. I read the article and then I read the article they referenced and I was like, it was like the Jackie Chan meme. Like, what the hell? Like, what is that? Like, what are you like? If you just looked at the data, you go, wow, it's like moving along. Like things are clicking like they normally are. And then you read the article, you're like, what the hell? Where'd that come from? They're making shit up.
He's really animated, isn't he?
It's just, great. Guys, look, I know a lot of you that watch the channel are on the now you're not Crash Bros, but you're on the less enthusiastic side, right? So a lot of you will come on and point out some negative things and stuff. But I just showed you all the charts and I gave you all the data that they used to do their article, and they still basically just went hard over to the worst they could be. I think Moody's, who's super negative, and Redfin are dating because they're perfect for each other. They should totally date. They should have little real estate analytics kids that would be also super terrible.
Okay.
All right.
I don't know if you were laughing, but clearly I thought the whole thing was funny.
I thought it was funny too.
So, but then again, I'm easily amused. So if you are also easily amused, or this was entertaining, or you just like me laughing at Todd, please remember to subscribe, like the video, hit the notification bell so you get the next video where I'm laughing at Todd. And remember to share the video, leave us real estate related comments. We appreciate you being here, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.
Bye.